Good evening. Alright, so for this stream is the return of Friendly Fire. This time it's going to be a double session since I missed the last one. So the topics for this Friendly Fire are going to be the best juice flavor, and the other one is going to be the best elemental ability. So I'm just gonna wait for people to funnel in. They can get this started. So let me go ahead and get that VC up as well.
My father was well respected.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever you say.
It said mango, and he said wind or earth, since I'm assuming Inferno is taking fire. Oh, okay. Now, let's see. Best juice flavor? Well, it's probably gonna have to be a certain blend that I really liked, but I haven't had in a long time. Hey, Trayvon. How you doing? Speaking of the fire guy, what's up in front of So yeah, so just to reiterate, topics for today's Friendly Fire is going to be a double session. First one is best juice flavor, and the second one is going to be best elemental ability. So I already got my choices in mind. Just waiting to see if anybody else is going to be popping in here. I'll let Retro pick first if he chooses between my two options. Okay. Good. We're drawing on PlayStation, but it's still storming in Belleville. And blew out an electric pole right next to the apartments. I'm not turning on my game today. Oh, damn. Okay.
My father was well respected. His daughter will be well feared.
Well, ad break in 40 seconds. Okay. Let's see the Ferris wheel. Okay, sure, I can do that. Okay, that is done. And I got another. Oh, I can get the ball in the emote. Yeah, let me get there. Go with fruit punch for juice, even though it's hard to choose. And fire for the element. Okay. Yeah, might as well get my daily stuff done in the meantime. On ad now? Okay. Oh, that's a flying knives weapon skin? Ooh. Oh, I like that. I'll reveal my favorite juice and my element as well. I'll do that after he comes back from the ad. Ooh, I can go really high. That's cool. Welcome back. Welcome back to you as well. Okay. So, since it seemed like it's just gonna be the three of us, which that's okay. Let's see. Let me just get this done real quick. Okay, limit has been reached. Alright. Okay, now I'm at 30. Okay. So let's see. So Alberto. So what's your choice for So your choice for juice is mango. Okay. Now which element are you gonna go with? Because I don't know if retro is gonna show up or not. You can go with advanced elements too. Yeah, you can go with advanced elements like, magma, plasma, stuff like that too, if you want. I'll go with wind. Okay. All right. Well, let us begin. Let's begin our friendly fire for best juice. All right. So let's start it off by naming what we're going to advocate for. So I believe that the best juice flavor will be blueberry and blackberry, and I mean them mixed together. Because I've actually had a juice from Northland that made that flavor. I'm pretty sure it was blueberry and blackberry. Yeah. Was it that? I'm pretty sure it was. So that's what I'll go with for that. And Alberto and Trayvon. So y'all go for mango and fruit punch, respectively, right? Mango. Do something for his fruit punch. Okay. All right. So, and a little fist. Nice. All right. So we'll start this off by, just give a simple statement for why you think that it's the best juice. So I'll begin. I believe that blueberry and blackberry, mixed together, is the best juice because it combines the tartness of blackberry and the sweetness of blueberry into one melodious mix, and it is so good. Provides a taste that is not often found in any other type of juice. All right, that's my opening statement. So, Alberto, you can go next. Then after that, then Trayvon. Oh, I know a place that would be quieter. Let me go into training mode. Yeah, there we go.
Cry havoc and let loose the sea dogs of war.
Now, World says mango just really hits on a hot summer day with this extreme sweetness. Okay. All right. And Trayvon, what about you for fruit punch? There we go. Okay, I got it. Really, fruit punch is the best because it's a staple flavor that has been tried and true since they came up with the flavor. Okay. All right. So, with all of our little opening statements, now let's move on to challenging someone's opening statement. So, does anyone have any counters to someone's best juice? And just so you know, I have two counters. I have a counter for both of you. Yeah, so Alberto or Trayvon, either one of y'all can go. Or if you'd like to further advocate for your favorite juice, then you can do that too.
Anchors away.
Oh, look at that moon. Mangoes are rich in vitamin A and C, so it's quite healthy to chug one down. Okay. Yeah, let's wait for Inferno. Let's see what he get. I don't have anything to counteract any of y'all yet. Okay. Your blackberry and blueberry mix sounds cool, but it seems more of a niche flavor that not a lot of people have experienced. Okay. Alright. So, if we're going with that route, then I would say this. Fruit punch is something that has been done for many years. Everybody has experienced that flavor, true. But there's so many flavors out there that are a blend, just like fruit punch. So wouldn't that make fruit punch, a little bit too common, and you can get the same bang for your buck by trying other flavors of like two or three, mixed flavors. So you can get more variety by trying out different juices in general. Fruit punch is just like a very basic medley, and you can get that in a variety of other ways. And then for Alberto, for mango, it's like okay, most juice or most fruit rather are rich in vitamin C. So that, along with the fact that you said it hits on a hot summer day, the same can apply for any juice. If it's nice and cold, it can hit. It can hit. No matter what type of juice it is. Now, another thing about blueberry and blackberry, since we're gonna go over like health benefits. So blueberries are extremely rich in antioxidants, and then blackberries are also rich. Let's see, also rich in fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, also antioxidants, and manganese. So you mix the two, you got a freaking powerhouse when it comes to nutritional benefit. And like I said, the contrast between the two, one is very sweet, the other one is more tart. Wonderful blend. It provides a lot of depth of flavor. So, do y'all have a counterpoint for anything I've said? True, but who's to say people would like your flavor in general? True is the true fruit punch is basic, but like you said, that's why it's been around so long. Well, that's the thing that you use. I think you're using the similar argument that Retro did when he was trying to advocate for vanilla ice cream. It's like, yeah, it's been around for a long time, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily the best. It's like a foundation for everything else. Or in this case for fruit punch, it's like, well, okay, you know, for people that might not be too familiar with juice, fruit punch sounds amazing, and yeah, it can be pretty good. But you can get that same benefit of mixing different, fruits and everything and different juice types by mixing it. You can make like your own smoothies or do whatever. So you can essentially make fruit punch in a variety of ways. It doesn't have to be the way that you can get it like in a store or anything. You can make your own, or like I said, you can try different juice blends in general. Cranberry, for instance, you can mix cranberry with a whole lot of different flavors. And I've tried a lot of different blends of cranberry and pomegranate and all sorts. And I believe that all of those supersede fruit punch. Now, along with that, for blueberry and blackberry specifically, it's like, yeah, like I think those two alone pack more of a punch and flavor than fruit punch. Now, as for Alberto's choice of mango, sure, mango is very refreshing and it's delicious. And sometimes a single flavor is really all you need. But even so, it's like, can you really compete when you have a juice blend? If you're combining multiple flavors into one, then there's also additional benefits and I would think better taste overall. Unless Alberto has a counter argument for why a single flavor like mango would be, much better than a blend. So if you can somehow tell me that mango has more of a distinguished flavor profile than a blend like blueberry and blackberry, then I would love to hear it. And then along with that, I would also challenge you to, well, how about this? Say if you had a fruit that was very rare, something that's not really heard of. Now, if it was something that's that's known to be incredibly delicious by itself, then I can see your argument. But I don't know how you would be able to tell me that mango would be better than a blend like blueberry and blackberry. You can try though. This might be a this might be an unfair one because I've tried a whole bunch of juice. I know my juice. I used to drink fruit punch when I was younger, along with other basic flavors. But no, I've grown way past that. Even something as simple as apple juice can really hit too. That's true, but just like with other things that have been around for a long time, it can be pretty boring. Pretty sure that it appeals to a lot of people. Also, we were going with that. You could just blend yours into smoothies and the like. Also, there's a great deal of individuals who is not a fan of tart flavors like me. Okay, so if you're saying that fruit punch appeals to a lot of people, which probably true, but I'm still saying that fruit punch is something that can be, it's something that a lot of people have tried, but if they want variety, why wouldn't they just try other blends that can provide the same benefit of having multiple flavors? Because fruit punch is anchored on the fact that it's multiple flavors into one, and it's a basic blend. But what I've said is you can alter that blend, in a variety of different ways. And yes, you can put blueberry and blackberry into a smoothie. You can do the same thing with all juice. But I'm trying. What I'm trying to do is attack the fact that just because fruit punch is well known by many, and it's liked by a lot of people, it doesn't make it the best. Having that sort of accessibility is nice, but why would you go with that? We can go with something that's better, something that has a better flavor profile. And he said, and he also said there's a great deal of individuals who are not a fan of tart flavors. Okay, sure, there might be people that don't like tartness or anything that's or even sour or nothing like that. That's fine. But here's the thing: if blueberry and blackberry work together, then that tartness is going to get canceled out. And it's going to be melded together into one beautiful matrimony. Which, that's the point of having a blend. You can take different fruits or different types of flavors and you can blend them together to where something might be a little bit too strong, you can, tone it down. And you can mix it with something that's, more sweet or whatever. So I think that those two opposing fruit, that's why they make such a powerful combination. I have another point as well as far as fruit punch. So fruit punch is very common at, well, I don't know how common it is now because I don't go to parties or nothing like that. But you know how there would be like a punch bowl. Well, yeah, people do serve fruit punch at parties or whatever. But yeah, and it's like okay, fruit punch is easy to make. It is easy to make. That's true. But you can just throw anything in there and you can make that. Now, here's the thing about parties. At parties, do you necessarily have the most sophisticated stuff at a party? Now, it depends on the type of party it is, sure. But if you're just having like a get together, is it easier to just make like fruit punch, or should you get something that's it's definitely better tasting, but then just like, but not probably not everybody would like it. Probably not everybody will even be open to even trying it. But still, fruit punch. It's like, yeah, just because it's common, it's like, yeah, the masses will probably drink it, but the topic is best juice here. And I'm still thinking that as far as like flavor profile and then like the contrast of flavors, it supersedes anything that fruit punch is about. So I'm actually kind of helping you too, but I'm only helping in the sense that fruit punch is accessible and fruit punch is very common. But I think the commonality of it works against it because people will get bored of that flavor after a while, like I did. Same thing. If we reference back to Retro's claim for vanilla ice cream, it's like once you graduate from that flavor, you don't necessarily just want to go back to regular vanilla ice cream. And that goes with anything that you get into, like anything that might be like the basic, might be like the starter. If you go beyond that, then why would you go back to the simple stuff when you have something that's much better? I mean, Navarro said I'm at a loss for words. I got nothing against mixed flavors. I know I said a lot, so take your time. I'll give you a chance to reply and everything. Say, besides the simplicity factor of not being overwhelmed by the multiple flavors and going for something basic without worrying about adding too much or too little, if you're making your own juice blend. Mm-hmm. Let's say better according to taste buds. It's also Spike Punch is definitely great at parties. Okay. Also, not necessarily going what flavor is cool. A lot of times people want simplicity, something they can attach to because. Okay, take your time. It's all good. I do have something to say, but I'll wait. That is so cool. I love the animation.
Cry havoc and let loose the sea dogs of war.
Oh, messed up. Oh, okay. Got it. Wait, that missed? Oh. No, I know that was late. There we go. Okay.
Raise colors. Let them know fear.
Let's see. Oh, that was cool. Okay. Oh. Where I forgot the second part or what I was going to say. Oh, dang. Okay. So, Alberto, do you have anything that you want to say to advocate further for Mango? I just move on? Okay. Alright, well, so let's see if Alberto has anything to say.
Anchors away. Raise colors. Let them know fear.
Oh yeah, I can try the flying knives here. On ad break? Okay.
Anchors away.
So you got an ad. Oh, welcome back. Well, welcome back to both of you. Okay, so you said you beat me with the health benefit statement? Oh, okay. Alright, well, if that's the case, so do either one of you have any other point that you would like to make? If not, then we can go ahead and go to a vote. Said nope, I hate typing. Okay. Alright, well, let's go ahead and vote. So, let's see. The rule last time is, yeah, that we are going to apply this rule, from then on, is, you can't vote for your own. So who are we voting for? Blueberry and blackberry? Okay. Alright, so I'll vote for Alberto's mango. Well, I guess I am the winner then. Best one is blueberry and blackberry. Yes, sir. Well, that was fun, fellas. Thanks for participating. Best juice flavor. So, with that, let us go with our second topic. Best element. Or best elemental ability. So, I didn't say my choice, but it should be obvious if you know me. I'm voting for water. It's Infernal cook up for fire since you fired up. Alright, so I'm going with water. Trayvon's going with fire. And Alberto's going to go for wind. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our opening statements. So for water. Alright, I will say this. Water is essential to all life. Water is essential to all life, and there are so many things that we cannot do without water. I'll start with that. I'll start with something very simple. I want to hit y'all with the heavy stuff later on, though. Alright, Alberto, your turn. So for wind, you say you can have enhanced movement. Okay.
Cry havoc and let loose the sea dogs of war.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's sick. Let's see. Fire is also essential to life and provides heat to protect against the cold. Okay. Alright, so we've done our opening statements. So let's see. Since you said it's also essential to life, that is true. And it's also true that Alberto said that wind gives you enhanced movement. Okay. Now, I will say this. Water is probably one of the most versatile elements out of every element that you can think of. It has superior shape manipulation. You can also, so here's the thing, you can also apply it in a variety of different ways. You can make illusions with it. You can power things with it. You can use it for defensive capabilities, offensive capabilities by highly pressurizing it. Yeah, there's so many things that you can do with water. Like its potential is nearly limitless. If you change the density of it, it can also become very heavy. well, heavier than it already is. You can also use it for propulsion. You can use it for. You can actually even use it for flight. It's so many things you can do with water. So, Alberto and Trayvon, what y'all got? Bro, it's too much stuff for this. I need to be able to talk. Oh, well, do you want to call me? Or are you unable to?
Cry havoc and let loose the sea dogs of war.
I can be on Call of Duty as well with all these cracks. Oh. So yeah, that'll work alright? Okay. Alright. I will call both of you. Give me a second. Since neither one of you can get on PlayStation Party, that's fine. Okay. Hello?
Yeah.
Alright, hold on. Let me get Alberto as well.
Okay.
Alberto!
Yo.
Alright, hold on.
Well, if I can have a better argument instead of like mango juice.
Alright. Alright.
Alright, cool.
Okay, now y'all can talk. Alright. So, now what do y'all want to say?
Okay. Alright. What was the last thing you said? Oh, about the versatility of water.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That is true. All that stuff that you named.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. The thing is, you can do every single thing, well, almost every single part of that with fire as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like that fire has the capability of being able to zap strength as well as be, like I want to say like life source or food source
Mm-hmm.
for organisms. Also, fire can be hit into big explosions,
Mm-hmm.
do massive damage as well, but you can also be used for I say like, well, defensive purposes and all that stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Also, are we just doing like basic fire, or is we able to do like the different forms of fire as well?
Hmm. No, you can go however way you want to. That's fine.
Okay, yeah, depending on how hot it gets, it turns to like the blue flame, white, and it can lead into other elements
Mm-hmm.
as well. All right, and then I stop right there for now.
Okay. All right, Alberto, what do you have to say?
Y'all make very good statements about that, but wind can also be very versatile, where it could have healing magic along with evasive movement, as I mentioned before. You can also have a bunch of energy, like moving stuff around or having wind power stuff. So it's
Mm-hmm.
also energy efficient.
Uh-huh.
And you can also create like huge storms in case you want to fend off enemies or have like a little um let's see, a shower of uh, water without helping you out, I guess. uh, I'm trying to think out here without going to the disadvantage aspects of it.
I'll throw you a bone if you need it.
No, we greatly appreciate it.
Okay. So one of the applications of wind is it can actually pretty sure in some cases it can make you invisible.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. That's one thing you can do. And also another thing that wind can do is it's incredibly sharp. It's probably one of the most efficient when it comes to like making something very thin. So when it comes to like like sharpness, yeah, wind is probably at the top along with like something like lightning. So
yeah.
so you made wind blades, and you can increase the power of like other weapons by coating them in wind. So you can drastically increase their slicing power. You can do all sorts of
You
things.
can do the tornado fist.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can do
like
lots of
yeah,
or the tornado kick.
yep.
Yeah, I learned both of those from my forefather. I know those.
Mhm.
Those are cool. Those are cool effects.
Yep.
See, even Aaron agrees with
Mhm.
me. Actually, say that one more time. Say it.
You,
Tornado fist.
tornado fist. Freaking gem, bro. From Yu Yu Hakusho. Mm,
Yep.
amazing character. All right, but anyway, all right. So I'll go again, and I'll I'll say this. So another thing that water can do is see water is an element. See, I'll lean more into its versatility. So aside from things that I said with shape manipulation and being able to propel yourself into the air, for like flight, or you can use it for like illusions and all sorts of things. So it also has very high defensive capabilities, and its defensive capabilities I believe also exceed fire. Fire is mainly an offensive element. Now fire can provide some defensive capabilities, but not to the extent of water. Also, along with that, here's the thing: water can be as gentle or fierce as you want it to be, as you can see clearly within nature with like how calm ponds and lakes and the sea can be. And then all of a sudden it can become a storm, and it can be an indestructible force that nothing can like nothing can stand up to it, not even mountains. And over time, water actually washes away everything.
Well, I got another thing that can back you up with water,
Okay.
which is tsunamis exist, and they can just like, as you mentioned, wash everything away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Plus, you got whirlpools, which whirlpools are, pretty much inescapable. So yeah, that you also have. Let's see. Oh, and also, you Trayvon mentioned that fire can. Did you say that it can also like weaken people or something like that?
Yeah, without the energy.
Okay, water can do the same thing, and it can do that by making them heavier, or let's see. Cause I think what was the application for? Actually, if somebody is drowning, then that also saps their strength and makes it so they are unable to breathe and they can't move as well. So water is truly a deadly force, but it can also be the most gentle force as well because it also has healing properties. So water can actually heal you, and depending on the purity of the water, it can have very natural restorative capabilities. And that's without even mixing it with like minerals and everything.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'll give you the healing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's some anime or something that created healing fire, but I don't really associate it with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as like the heavy drowning and all of that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that does add weight. But I'd say more panic is what is forces people to zap their strength.
Hmm.
Because if you're drowning, you're gonna move. It's like being claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm.
If you're claustrophobic, you're gonna do things and move your body to zap your strength in situations you otherwise would have if you were thinking clearly.
Okay.
As far as the defense, now I don't know if I would say it's a superior defense. Uh, fire. A lot of people like to assume fire is completely offensive,
Mm-hmm.
but that offense can also be used as defense.
Do you mean like rings of fire for like making arenas to where people can't actually enter and stuff like that?
That as well, but also using counterforce to people attacking you. Like, say somebody hurls something or throws something, hard at you,
Mm-hmm.
and you were to create an explosion of fire that counteracts that,
Okay.
even rebounding it. Also, about the water, like, crap. What did you say about the water that?
Hmm.
You said something about the ocean. You said something about the
Oh
ocean.
no, the ocean becoming extremely fierce once there's a storm.
Nah, it was something else.
Whirlpool.
Uh, I can't remember, but something about I can't remember. But if fire is hot enough, they can evaporate water, and I wouldn't say it evaporate the ocean or whatever because this planet is mostly consistent of water.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was something like the sun and it was closer, then yeah.
Then hmm. Yeah, so it would evaporate all water and it become more barren. Okay.
And we all be dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like if the sun went out and heat and fire went away, we would all be dead because then this planet would become toxic.
Hmm. Okay. So let's see.
Well, oh, wait, and then let me also. Oh no, wait. Actually, I guess either you can kind of we go to Alberto.
No, let's let Alberto
Well,
go.
it's your turn, ain't it?
Wait, you said what?
I said, is it Alberto's turn or your turn?
Oh, Alberto can go. He hasn't had a chance to say too much.
Oh, I have something that could go against water.
Okay, what's that?
Is that in some areas you won't even have access to waters. It's just like a material and some sort of element you need to use out like an outside source. So say for example you're in like a barren wasteland with no water in sight at all. How are you supposed to come across with that?
Hmm. Okay. So, when it comes to manipulating water, there are definitely cases where users can use water even without a water source. And along with that, if here's the thing, like with any elemental users, like a lot of them can just create it using their own energy, and they can convert that energy into their element. So now, if we're going with the notion that elements are only manipulated from natural sources, then sure, I'll
Oh,
give
well,
you.
like the airbender.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like that. If it was like that, then
Yeah,
sure, I see your point. But if we're going with just using the elements in general and being able to create them using your own energy or chakra or whatever you want to, whatever power source you want to use, then that wouldn't apply because you can just create water no matter what.
fair point.
So yeah, that's only under the assumption that you would need a nearby water source. Now,
Yes.
granted, if here's the thing, now if you do use natural sources, yes, like with lightning element, for instance, if you use natural lightning, then that is better than using lightning from your own abilities because natural lightning is always stronger.
Yeah.
So, so let's see. All right, so I've already got anything else that you want to say?
About water?
Water or fire, either one.
No, no. I thought you were talking about wind.
Oh, wind.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta. Yeah,
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 you never said too much about,
Oh,
your
yeah.
wind element.
well, you can like push stuff around with ease.
Uh
Cry
huh.
Like
havoc and let loose the
you can
sea
also
dogs
have
of
like
war.
light powers where if you want to go from one destination to another, you can have that. So no vehicle transportation is needed. So you just want to go from point A to point B, then bam. Um,
Okay. Uh,
another thing is that a bunch of fake out opportunities where you can send out like a small portion of it and then just follow up with like a huge blast of like a hurricane or something afterwards. And that's all I got.
okay. So you mentioned being able to fly to different places. Okay. So yes, wind is definitely superior to pretty much all elements when it comes to being able to fly or any form of transportation. Now, since we're not talking about like other abilities, the most superior ability when it comes to traveling from one place to another would be like teleportation. Or if you want to get like more technical, like space manipulation or space time
Yeah.
manipulation. That'd be the best way to travel to anything. But we ain't talking about those abilities. We're talking about elements, specifically. But yes, wind. You do have us on wind being the best for traveling, and it has the best mobility. Not that using fire and water will be any slouches in that regard, though. We can make it happen.
Yeah. Well, wind is definitely like smoother in that.
Yeah, it definitely would do it the easiest. That's true.
Also, wind is. Isn't that like better for using like? Cause I thought I created an ability using it. Air pressure,
Yeah.
the different. What did I create? There was so many things I created. It was like a very old character, and he manipulated air pressure, which is actually a bit strong suit of wind, as well as creating vacuums by
Mm-hmm.
sucking the wind out of a certain area.
Yep.
Is deadly, and wind is also one of the best things for taking life. If you suck the wind or vacuum out of something, not only will you destroy it, but well, we thrive on oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, living organism does. Then that just highlights one of the biggest, destructive capabilities of wind.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Another thing, if you use not see one of the things with wind is like if you if you use enough force, then you can create like air cannons, and those are extremely deadly. Like with like the way that which well it's gonna be a spoiler for Alberto, but for Mike Guy, remember when he did the Madara Trayvon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you ever see that, well, I don't know if you've ever seen one. They use it in movies. If you ever seen the actual air cannon that they use,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it is not pretty when that thing hits something. But that's what they use to launch. Like if you ever seen the movies like Cars and all that stuff that's flying across the screen,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they get hit with air cannons. Yeah, it's like this big old like cannon shaped machine
Mm-hmm.
that shoot out like highly pressurized air.
Yep. And that is extremely deadly. So, so if we want to talk more about destructive capabilities, now people will most people will typically think that water is probably lacking the most offensive power when it comes to destructive capabilities. But here's the thing. Like I said, water can be as it can be as gentle or as destructive as you want it to be. So I mentioned before that if you highly pressurize it, then that's one of the best ways to drastically increase your offensive power. So with that, you can cut through stone. You can also you can pierce things like a spear. You can also, and then along with that, you can also drastically increase your defenses like that as well. And it can also be a very concussive force, depending on the shape that you make it into as well. So say if you had like a highly pressurized water shield, and then you actually launch that into something, then similar to how wind can you know make like huge craters, water can do the same thing. So with water, yes, you'll have to you have to be creative with it, sure, but water can do the same thing.
Yeah. All
Now
right.
another thing that water can do as well is so okay. Now we're really gonna get down to the nitty gritty with this. Water is like the perfect element for fusing with other elements. It works so well with so many other elements, like water and lightning, water and earth, water and actually water and fire. It can make like it can make steam, and if you can manipulate that steam, that would be awesome. Or you can make like boiling water, or you can do water and wind, which depending on how you want to use that, it can. See, here's the thing: water is the perfect element for enhancing the capabilities of other elements when they mix together. Like water can cohabitate with any other element there is. But along with that, so I want to also say this too. Water also shuts down even advanced elements on its own, like magma. Like magma is almost useless against water. Like that's a hard counter.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
And then another thing that water shuts down, which now here's another ability it is actually very powerful, but um, a lot of elements surprisingly can't really stop it on its own. Sand, and what counters sand? Water.
Fair point.
Now here's the thing: is fire gonna be effective against sand? Mm-mm.
Let the turn into glass.
Yeah, it'll turn into glass if it's hot enough.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Regulating temperature. Because if something is hot enough, it can evaporate water. If something is hot enough, it can go into magma. Magma hits water. Yeah, it stops magma, and then it turns into rock.
Mm-hmm.
Fire can spread along the wind, increasing its destructive capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And with, I said turn into magma, but basically that's fire and earth.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fire can be gone. Fire is used in a process to create plasma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is
So,
that's fire and lightning together. Yeah.
and so fire, well, it's like ionized gas, yeah. But heated up gas stripped away of atoms of some crap.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's definitely versatile in all those aspects as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, because we're doing temperature, the thing is, it can also because heat temperatures are depend on how they get on how it gets.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that can regulate wind flow, and then as far as it comes to like rock and earth,
Mm-hmm.
well, again, if it's hot enough, it'll just melt it.
Yeah.
So definitely an extremely versatile element. Also, the fact that I'm gonna just say in animes because we wouldn't actually see like black fire in actual life. At least I hope not.
Yeah. We don't need Amaterasu.
Because if I see something like that, I'll be scared and I'll start running.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't get rid of
But
black fire. That can't be extinguished.
yeah, but the different varieties of forms that it takes in, you know, anime and culture of that nature, like black, regular, I've seen purple flames, you know,
Mm-hmm.
plus the white, which are also associated with other elements. Holy
Holy
flames
flame.
and
Yep.
things of that nature, demonic flames.
Mm-hmm.
I should have started lightning again. Uh, and stuff like that.
Okay. So let's see. I make a lot of wonderful points about fire, and yeah, and I'm definitely familiar with like the different types of fire and how they can have different elements. And that's something that I've been inspired by too because I had created a character that has what's called a poison flame. So he blends poison and fire together to make his own unique fire. And I like
Oh
doing.
yeah, well that's called basal. It's called Bell something fire. Like
Wait.
poison and flame together.
Oh, okay. So that's what it's
Yeah, it's
called.
called Bell Flame or some crap like that.
Oh, okay. Well, hell, now I got an actual name for it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can actually do that in Shadow of Mordor. That's one of my favorite things to do, actually.
Oh, that's sick. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, and I had,
Like green flame.
yeah, and that's why I think I made when I made the character, I made his flames like green and black or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sick. So so yeah, fire definitely has a lot of wonderful applications. Um, and yes, it does have a whole variety of things that it can do that would be that'd be very useful for all life. And I understand that. You know, without it you can't cook. Without it there's a lot of things that you simply can't have. You can't have heat. A lot of things you can't have without fire. But without water, see, and this is why I think since we're getting down to the nitty gritty of all of this is exactly why fire and water, it's like they're they can often be seen as opposing forces, but it's like, but they're very much alike in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Actually, the thing about fire and water is, I honestly see fire and water the same way I see darkness and light.
Yeah,
Like, you definitely just need both of them.
yeah, they can't exist, without each other.
Yeah.
And then because and plus, those two forces together, they create so much life as well. So here's the thing, you know how islands are created? Islands are created because of volcanoes, and water cools down all the magma that's erupted, under the sea and everything, and that creates an island.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the two forces work together. So that's why it's like, say, thinking about it, it's like, well, there's so many things that we can say to advocate for, either water or fire. But it's like, I think it's like we can basically, like, keep going, on and on. But we're gonna be saying pretty similar things, like, well, they can do this, and can do this. It's like, well, I can do that too. I can also do this and this, and we can just keep going on and on with that. So let's shift the conversation to Win to help Alberto out.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Alberto.
Yeah.
So here's another thing. So for wind, you have, so like you said, you have superior, mobility, and you have the ability to transport to different places much easier than either one of our elements that we're representing here. And along with that, see, wind is an element that it allows you to do something that most people would dream of, and like, just being able to, just float through the sky, and and have that sense of freedom, like the wind is, pushing you along, and you can be your own tailwind, and you know and it's not easy to replicate that feeling with any other element. Wind definitely makes you feel free, because the sky is basically your domain, and you can be up there with birds and everything. Now, although we can use different applications to make ourselves fly, it's like that freedom is something that shouldn't be overlooked. So there's that. There's also the fact that wind can it can also be a support element as well, and you can also make other people fly. So you can help others fly. It's also much easier to get people to safety in some cases with wind, as opposed to trying to rescue folks using either one of our elements. See, with water, I would have to, like, say if they were trapped in a flaming building, it's like, yeah, water would definitely help with that. But with you can kind of like whisk them out of a dangerous situation by just floating them out. So it's like it's very easy to transport others with wind along with yourself. And then another thing that you can do is, let's see. I'm gonna try to help you out as best I can. So let's see. What's another thing that wind can do?
Another thing that Wayne is good at is redirection.
Yeah.
So here's the other thing. I think for all our barriers in defense, Earth definitely has probably Earth element has like one of the best defense, if you
Yeah.
want to say defensive wise. But I would say when, if we really want to be truthful about it, probably would be up there in that regard because the barriers that you can make with wind is extremely potent. Also, redirection, like I said, is like a very powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm throwing a fireball or trying to hit you with liquid or ice or trying to hit you with lightning and you're redirecting it with wind, just like I say you can rebound with fire, well, wind does it better.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff wouldn't really touch you if you're very proficient in using the wind element.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think we also like the freedom of movement, yeah, but just a boost to speed. Wind is often associated with speed,
Mm-hmm.
so more than any of the other elements. So being boosted with that speed and hitting somebody, well, wind is the application of kinetic force. You shoot, I mean, you propel yourself fast enough, it's extremely destructive. The only thing I say that will probably outdo it is lightning and light, as far as like force of movement.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I can see that.
wind is definitely up there in that as well.
Yep. Okay. Let's see.
Well, I can add along with that with like that support thing where you go well with water and earth.
Mm-hmm.
Water it can make like bubbles, and earth it can like make dust.
Mm-hmm. Which actually dust, dust as an element. Yeah, that's the thing as well. That's a combination of wind and earth. That's pretty cool. Actually, well, I've seen dust as oh, I've seen that in Naruto. That that freaking advanced that one was broken.
Oh yeah, that's element.
Yeah, that shit was broken, bro.
Yeah, actually, if it wasn't for the fact that it like takes so long to do it,
Yeah,
yeah, that would be ridiculous.
yeah, because basically dust element it can atomize things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it destroys you on such a level that yeah you just get obliterated by it. So
Yeah.
let's see, and what else? What else would help Alberto out for wind? Um,
Oh, you also help with life as well, as far as I would say like some organisms use heat or whatever for food and energy sources.
mm-hmm.
Well, some organisms, plants, and other things use wind in order to spread, like seeds and in order to spread, like different things. That way they be in other locations
That's true.
in order to replant themselves. Plus, as far as the application, wind is also very well in being a silent killer.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally spread things along the wind and without your opponent knowing.
Yep.
So, especially like smell based stuff. or like powders and stuff like that. Yeah.
Hmm. Actually, on that note, wind is the best out of the three here at assassination.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah, is the best by far when it comes to assassination.
Yeah.
So let's see. What's another thing? Yeah. See, wind is a very oppressive element, and actually similar to water, it can be as gentle or as fierce as you want it to be.
Mhm.
So here's
Yeah,
the thing:
that's true.
you can make a wind cloak around yourself, and if you do that, then like with the raging winds around your body, you're going to automatically push most things away from you, and it's going to be hard to actually penetrate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, wind is a very repulsive force, when applied properly. So, I think overall, it's like me and Trayvon, we got like pretty much dead even stuff when it comes to like different applications for water or fire, and then with wind, it's like you definitely have clear advantages over both of us in certain regards. So,
Yeah.
so it's like, and I also think that well, let's see. What would be the best way to say this? In certain areas, wind has both of us beat, but then, I also think that for water or fire, it's like, well, if used in certain ways, we can either combat or overcome wind. So I don't think there is a clear winner here. I don't know. What what do both of y'all think? Y'all think is a clear winner here?
Nah, because we could each make different. Like you said, we honestly can just go on and on.
Yeah,
Like bringing up different points that the elements were used to counteract each other.
yeah. Because I could see, I didn't even go into like the different states of water that you could make it into. Like ice, and then then using like water vapor or whatever the case may be. And water. When seeing, I can also say like water easily goes into its other states. Better than the other two.
Yeah,
You know, but then it's just like it's like, well, fire can also be transmuted into different states too. You know, so yeah, we can just go on and on, but I don't think there's a clear winner. Let's just say this. Let's just call it a three-way tie.
all right,
Yeah, let's just make this a three-way tie.
I'd be fine with that.
all right. Yeah, that was definitely cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, because and I thought about it, I was like, well, best element that would definitely get it would definitely get me talking a whole lot and you Trey Ryan.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, because this is something that we've researched extensively over the years.
yeah,
Yeah, so we talked about this a whole bunch of times, or just looked on like wikis and looked at other sources for elemental abilities and all of that sort of stuff. So this is like our thing.
yeah. And then we battled enough to
Yeah, right, right.
start using the element. We battled enough to using the dang elements.
Hmm. Yeah, so it's just like something like this is just like, well, we can go in as long as we want, but it is like it'll probably just eventually always be a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So moving on from that, that was cool. How you gentlemen feeling about Switch too.
Oh, we gonna talk about that?
Oh no. How you feel about
We were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah, I was talking to that word about this yesterday, bro. Like so personally, I don't like the fact that the Switch 2 is, going to cost that much, and then the game's costing $80 at base price.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie. The 400 there because it's gonna cost like $450, I think.
Yeah,
And now some people are saying like it might be because of the tariff situation.
yeah, I did,
Because
yeah, I think I did hear that.
yeah, because they moved like their production facilities to Vietnam after the first time Trump did tariffs on China. And they thought, like, well, if he get into office, he might do it again. So we might move our stuff to Vietnam. And then I think this time he's done it on the tariffs of inspecting China and Vietnam.
Hmm.
So I see, I don't know how true this is, that they think that Nintendo might have set that price point in response to that, just in case, like, the tariffs hike up the prices in Vietnam and China.
Okay.
So I don't know how true that is.
Hmm.
It could be true, and it might just be unlucky for Nintendo that they decided to bring it out now around this time when all this stuff is happening.
Yeah.
But that price point is ridiculous. And $80 for a game, dude. I'm already crying when it's $70 and with taxes almost 75.
Right.
And you want me to pay $80 that you know with tax is gonna be like $85.
And that's just ridiculous. It might
Mm-mm.
be 90 for physical alone.
You heard me, Nintendo.
Also, the 450 price is before the whole tariff.
That's crazy. It's like, damn. Like, I know you can play freaking Elden Ring and stuff now, or you claim you can.
Yeah,
Now, I don't look. It look good.
it
The
does.
graphics look good. You can do 4K. You finally got the party stuff now. Like,
Yeah.
that's cool. You can do a mouse play or whatever crap. That's all fine, but bro, you start talking about that $80 game price point is
Yeah.
nuts. And I seen that some people were saying, well, and I understand. Nintendo might be thinking like, well, technically you're probably going to be paying $80 for the next console games, but it's like, dude, the next consoles aren't coming out until honestly about 3 to 4 years.
Hmm.
Probably about 2028, 2029 at the earliest is when the next consoles will be coming out. So you mean to tell me when everybody is paying $70 for console games, you went on and was like, well, this is our next console. Let's just put it at $80.
Mm-mm.
That ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work. And I mean, like I said, some of the features are really cool, but
Hmm.
that's not enough for me to sit there and drop no $450 for console.
Right. And then, okay, so wait, Albert, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I sent both of y'all on Discord about like the whole Switch 2 thing and the tier system.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll check that out.
Yeah, yeah. It's a post from Nintendo about it regarding pre-orders and stuff. Just for the states itself.
So let's see. It says pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 in the U.S. will now start April 9th, 2025 in order to assess the potential impact of tariffs and evolving market conditions. Nintendo will update timing at a later date. The launch date of June 5th, 2025 is unchanged. GameStop will continue to work closely with Nintendo and provide updates as soon as more information becomes available. Stay tuned for further details. Okay.
Um, so that kind of worries me.
Yeah.
Because now, if you're saying you want to see how the terrorist is gonna act, I'm kind of scared because you're saying 450, but did that increase? If it increases, if that tariff stuff like increases the price that they would need to bring it over to different places,
Yeah.
like could your console increase because of that? Because they're not gonna want to lose money on this.
Right.
So it's like, see, man, that's uh that's kind of messed up.
Yeah. Hey, hey, I'll be back. I'm about to eat me some pie real quick.
Okay. Mm. Uh,
Part of me is scared of gaming for the future just because it's so low.
man, what about the games were pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah. Like $80 for Mario Kart?
Well, it's like Mario. Okay, so the Mario World thing, I wouldn't want to spend $80 for it, but I like the capability that they're able to create a world now that you could just drive in. But it's like, uh, well, not for 80 because we'll play, if that was on PlayStation 5 or 4, you would have been had a world that you could drive in. So content's got to be a thing because Nintendo is like behind the trend and a lot of stuff. So it's like,
I think
I
it's
don't,
hard to get into like the PS4 hardware spec now.
yeah, and that's what I was saying. It's kind of like PS4 hardware. Which I told Aaron before it came out, I said if it can basically play like a PS4 and play PS4 games sufficiently, I said Nintendo would be winning. But I didn't think so. Now this kind of goes beyond, I guess, kind of like PS4 because they say that they can play Elden Ring. They say that they can play Cyberpunk, which I don't know because like,
We
Cyberpunk
all see Cyberpunk on release.
is freaking hard to play. Like, let's be real. So you claiming that you can play Cyberpunk and Elden Ring? Okay.
On handheld mode?
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
You might gotta be doctor. You might gotta be doctor for that.
Those
I don't know
hands
if
are gonna go off crazy.
I don't know if you can play it in handheld mode. Now, that is one of the features that I do like is that they actually got an internal fan. Because what I'm thinking is they're kind of making it like a computer handheld console.
Yeah.
But the
Like
problem
the
is,
whole mouse thing.
yeah, but the problem is computer handheld consoles would probably be more powerful than the Switch 2. Well, they not probably. If it's an actual good one, they are more powerful than the Switch 2. But my whole thing is like they didn't really show anything sufficient enough for me to say, hey, this is worth $450. Because
That price might
technically,
go up.
all you told me was you made things bigger. You made the screen bigger. I was like, okay. You made the little sticks bigger, which is fine, but it's still the same like width of the Switch, of the regular Switch.
Yeah.
So it ain't like you made it like super beefier. I don't know. Or your graphics are they look good, but and I know everybody's gonna be happy that they can play 4K and stuff on it, and they doing the little FPS thing, but still, yet none of the stuff that you put out screens like 450. Wait, how much was the PlayStation 5? Wasn't it like $500?
500. Yeah, it's 50 less.
What the No! Oh no, Nintendo, you can't.
How did we go from $70 to $80? Tears of the Kingdom was the first and only Nintendo game, which was 70. And we jumped to 80 immediately?
Yeah,
Like,
that is awesome. That is messed up. That is messed up while I'm laughing about it.
all of their games were 60, except Tears of the Kingdom. 70. Yeah, the new DK game is 70, yet the Kirby game, which came out like 4 years ago,
I ain't gonna lie, that Donkey Kong game did look really cool. I knew one thing.
I would be worried spending 70 for that instead of 80 like Mario Kart.
Yeah. Oh. $80 is kind of like pushing it. 80.
I fear the day we get to games being 100.
I already talked to Aaron about that. Like, I told him, look, the day we get to, I told him when we get to $80, which I was thinking for the next consoles. I didn't think Nintendo was gonna do it first.
Who's expecting Nintendo to do it first?
I'm serious. I did not think Nintendo was gonna do it first. I thought they was gonna do it next.
GTA 6 to do it first.
Oh yeah, there is a lot of talk about that. Actually, the rumors I've been hearing, they think GTA 6 is gonna be like anywhere from $80 to $100. I said,
No, it better.
I said, bro, if that game go over, first of all, if it's $80, I might boycott it. But if that game go anywhere near $100, boy, people who buy that be a freaking fool.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be like a top one seller anyway.
Look, there's a difference between being like it's GTA and being like, well, there's a line in the sand you got to draw at some point.
All right,
Like,
I'm back.
How popular that franchise is, it's like,
Hey, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you. So, hey, what are we talking about here?
Well, we was
About like
talking
the
about
whole increase in price and stuff regarding the Switch too, and now we're starting like the future of gaming with the prices.
Okay.
oh, yeah.
So y'all talking about GTA 6, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
talking about
Mario Kart hated this.
Yeah, because we was talking about, well, first, the fact that my brother had brought up that, because I was asking, like, how much was on PlayStation 5, and it was like $500. And it was like, wait a minute, and the Switch 2 is $450. I said, nah.
With PS4 specs in it too.
No, it can't, that's craziness. And then I was telling our brother when we was talking about games increasing that. Remember when we was talking about the prices there, and I was like, man, when it get to like $80, $90, I'm gonna only be buying like one game like every so often or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I didn't expect that to start happening until like PlayStation 6 and like whatever they call the Xbox. I was like, I ain't had no idea Nintendo was gonna do it first.
Yeah.
Like, how do we go from Tears of the Kingdom being the first Nintendo game being 70 to an immediate jump to 80? That's just no. How?
Yeah.
It's a stable 60 anyway.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? And I see what y'all mean, because It's like, bro, Nintendo. One of the things that I personally don't like about Nintendo is that their exclusive, their exclusives never go on sale.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem right there. It's like so they never go on sale, and then but now along with that, now we have to worry about an $80 price point. So you mean tell me if I want to get certain games at any point in time, even if it's been like years, they're still going to cost $80. That ain't cool.
Nope. You 100% right about that. And then Nintendo knew what they was doing too, because I bet you they shelled out big money for Firm Software, not only to get Elden Ring working on them, but also to do that little exclusive Dust Bloods game.
Oh yeah, Dust Blood. Yeah, that's supposedly that's the new Bloodborne. That's the I don't know if it's like a sequel to it or just like another or just another new IP that's similar to it. Since people have been asking about Bloodborne, being remastered or whatever for ages.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like bro, I do not want to end up paying $80 for each game because it's like seriously. $80 usually get you like the deluxe edition of a game, something like that.
Exactly.
Or
Or it gives you the game and the DLC.
yeah,
Not paying the whole game for it.
yeah, and it's like so just for a base game that's not including any DLC, it's gonna be $80, and then once you add DLC, that's easily gonna be like $100. That's gonna be $100.
Yeah. Another 20, $30 on top of that.
Yeah,
Oh no!
That's so weird to me. Why would you do that then? Because if you're, here's the thing, nobody's gonna, it's gonna be certain people, but you're not really gonna get people that's gonna buy the console like straight out
mm-hmm.
because of that price point, unless there are like people that just only play Nintendo. So they didn't spend money on like, an Xbox or a PS5.
Yeah,
So they're gonna pay that $450, and then on top of that, you pay $80 for a game, bro. Unless you just got money like that, who is about to shell out $80 for multiple games?
yeah. And actually, I want y'all to look at there's a Maximilian dude short that I posted in the Game in General channel, and he was talking about this. He was talking about like the prices, and he was like, dude, I love what they did with the Switch 2, and I'm super excited. But what I'm not excited about are the prices. Like not only the games, but the console itself. And he was saying that he said because he made an analogy for this. He said that So let me start by what he said. Here he said that he doesn't like the fact that something that he could afford is not going to be easily affordable to everybody else, and that means less people to play with and less people to enjoy what he enjoys. Because his analogy was like it's like listening to music on the radio. So everybody can enjoy different songs, and they can also everybody can collectively hype get hyped to like certain parts of that song that people like usually get hyped by. But it's like but it's not. He said he feels the same way about games. It's like, well, I want games to be affordable, just like trying to experience music. For like a lot of different people, I want games to be affordable to the point where I can have a lot of people playing with me or experience the same things as me. And I don't want to feel like I want to feel like that I'm enjoying something that's like a luxury, and only a few people can enjoy that thing. And so he doesn't feel that's okay. So he has an issue with the prices, even though he can afford, the Switch 2 and everything.
Yeah.
That's essentially what he was saying. It's just the fact that, he doesn't like the fact that something's a luxury, with those price points, and not everybody can enjoy that.
Man, that's true.
Yeah, and it is, and that is absolutely a luxury. Now, video games in general are a luxury. That's true, but But for something like this, for a console like this, like, bro, for a company that that tries to say that they family friendly, it's like, I don't know if how many families are actually going to be willingly spending that much, especially like think of all the parents that they gotten they must have gotten used to spending like $70 now for for games or whatever. But it's like, but think about now. It's like if the price jumps up to 80, it's like, wait, hold on, $80 for a game. It's like no, sorry, we need more food this month or something.
Yeah. And then on top of that, the fact is, a lot of these people now already have consoles or already, into like the computer stuff.
Yeah,
So if you're sitting there, so here's the thing, in which I appreciate Nintendo. But I think they kind of failed on this. All that stuff that they doing is good. Here's my problem with it. All the good stuff that you're doing, there are already stuff out there that does it better.
mm-hmm.
The problem, you're just now catching up to the ground. And so the thing with Nintendo was always that they're behind the times, but they're affordable.
Yeah,
It's way less than the other stuff.
yeah.
That was the whole thing behind the Switch.
Wait, what are you gonna say, Alberto?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. But that was the whole thing behind the Switch, is that it's a handheld gaming device. Well, we already had a handheld gaming device. Oh, but it can play certain console games now, and it's a lot cheaper than those consoles. Okay, cool. Let's go jump on it. That's fun. But now, those don't cost as much as a console to do something that the consoles have been doing anyway. And on top of that, now there's also the rise of, like, remember what I said before when we was talking about the Switch 2 before it came out, of like the PC gaming handhelds.
Yeah, like Steam Deck.
Like, yeah, all of that stuff is taking over the market. Your stuff is equaling up to something that's gonna be, honestly, something that's gonna be towards being seen as outdated in about 2 to 3 years.
Yeah,
Because when PS6 and whatever Xbox or whatever hits the market, they're gonna do something even more powerful.
mm-hmm.
Which is gonna lead a Switch 2 in the dust, and then it's gonna be like, well, shit. Why did I pay that for this? Where, it's just barely keeping up with PS4, PS5 type thing.
Yeah,
So, I don't know. I think that price point definitely hurt them.
yeah.
So,
Price is always the thing that can make or break a console.
yeah.
PlayStation learned a lesson with PS3. Remember, it was $600 at launch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that killed them.
Dude, that did. Yeah, that did heavily. So,
Scenario having a 3DS.
Wait, what is that?
Same case scenario having a 3DS. It was like 267, but dropped down to 169.
Mm.
yeah.
Nintendo should have like inspiring experience to it, but nope.
Yeah, bro, you sound kind of low.
What happened?
I said you sound kind of low.
Oh,
Wait, say it again.
About a thing I said before.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Nintendo should have like expected all this since they decreased the price of 3DS just 267 to 169 due to the outlash of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. See, if they wanted to, now here's the thing. I don't know. I guess. See, I don't. I just don't see any justification for the $450 price point for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like now here's the thing. Like now, 400 or 350, that would have been great.
I think more 350.
Yeah,
350.
Honestly, more 350.
that's the
Yeah.
same price as the Switch OLED.
Yeah, I think more 350.
Yeah, 350 would have been great. That's for sure. Yeah, because
Because I think with 350, they could have not only sold a gigantic amount of consoles to probably like boost their sales,
mm-hmm.
but then at 350 and then $70 for the game. Because honestly, bro, they should have just hit us with the 70.
Yeah,
If you were gonna increase the price, you should have just hit with 70.
yeah,
Because you were under 70 for your original Switch.
yeah,
You were under 70 for your original Switch. You can't just jump up that big of a price point. That's ridiculous.
yeah,
Just for Mario Kart.
yeah. For Mario Kart though,
Uh-uh. But yeah, you should have hit 350 and then $70 for games, because people would have been like, okay. And then I think you would have did very, very well in the time frame before the PS6 and whatever else came out.
yeah,
But this kind of like just stifles your launch, because it's like, dude, unless you're just all in on Nintendo, then
yeah. Why would you buy it? Why would you buy it at launch?
why would exactly, like, why would you do it? Why would you wait on sales?
Mm-hmm. But knowing Nintendo, yeah, it'll probably never go on sale.
They gonna have to put that console on sale at some point.
Yeah,
Cause that would probably be like the way I would get it.
Yeah, until they bring out like another Xenoblade or Smash, yeah, I ain't getting it.
wait, hold on. Oh hell! I just thought about something.
Uh,
Ugh. Please don't let this be like a Wii U situation.
Oh,
I would hate.
oh,
I would really hate
Lost,
for that
like-
to happen.
a bunch of money against Nintendo. Ugh.
Yeah,
The Wii U is one of is the biggest failure of
yeah,
Nintendo. But I would hate for that to happen.
yeah. I wouldn't want that to happen either.
Dude, that would destroy that console. Wouldn't really have games, and then I think that would set Nintendo back a lot.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, it really does feel like it's a Wii U situation because it introduced a camera and microphone like the Wii U had, which was usually different from the Wii U.
Also, yeah, that camera thing was just throwing me off. Cause wait a minute, so the camera gonna be separate from the Wii, from the Nintendo Switch too?
Yeah,
So is that like an accessory?
yeah. It's an accessory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
So
that ain't cool, bro.
and
I gotta sit there and buy that damn camera just so we can be like, hey, We can see each other in the party now.
Yeah,
What the fuck? Oh, so we can appear in some of these games. Man, you saw just came out that tube Memorial Party. Well, that's fine right there, man. That
nah.
$30 I just spent for that camera.
And then the camera is not even, it's not even high quality. It's a low quality camera too.
Ah,
Yeah,
why Nintendo?
it's not even a good quality camera either. And then it's,
Why can't you get at least a decent quality camera? They say they got noise canceling features. You can't get no good quality camera.
And game sharing looks like low quality too, moving at like 20 frames per second.
Man, hey, I ain't gonna lose that. Ain't nothing. Oh man, the feature was cool. Cause I didn't really start using party features until I started doing the parties with y'all.
yeah,
Yeah.
But their video quality for those parties kind of looked rough.
yeah.
For sure.
like it was struggling to do it, and I'm like,
And you know, there was people in the comments of the presentation saying like, well, I'm glad that they didn't, you know, make like a pre-rendered video, you know, and they actually showed the actual quality of it, so at least they were being honest. But it's just like,
I mean, that's the way to be optimistic about it.
yeah, I guess, yeah. See, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, they being honest, but it's like, but still, y'all could have did better than that.
Yeah,
They were honest about showing the prices during the direct.
Lord. That video probably was kind of rough. I was looking at it like, ooh.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't even like comment on video quality a lot. Like when I was looking at stuff.
yeah,
It's like shit.
but it's like,
So kind of.
it's like hell. See, if you know stuff like the camera and all, if that was included, then it's like okay, a little freebie along with the Switch. Okay, cool. You know, but
Yeah.
it's like, but no, that's separate. And then we got to talk about one of the most egregious things, about the whole presentation. The fact that they make you pay for a freaking demo that comes with the, bro.
I was in my mind earlier too.
Bro,
Right. You said they make you pay with them on that what?
you know the little game that little tech demo thing that shows you how the Switch 2 works and what it's capable of. Yeah, you got to pay for that.
Oh. Yeah, pay for that bullshit.
Yeah, you got to pay for that. They're making you pay for it.
This is why I prefer PlayStation over Nintendo at the moment.
Nah, I can't pay for that. They don't even do anything. I can learn about it myself.
Exactly.
Through trial and error. Why the fuck would I want to pay to barely play something that's a game in order to teach me how to do your console?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Now, Alberto and I were talking about this. Like, well, if they wanted to go the route of, including like like a little game along with it, with the launch, then do like PlayStation did, like the little the thing for Astro Bot, but that was free though, and is legitimately a good game apparently.
It is phenomenal, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Which I still need to play that. I need to play that on stream because I never actually played that. Never actually played that game.
It would have been quite handy when you first got your PS5, but it's still a very fun, enjoyable experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely try it out and play it. Yeah, Astro's Playroom, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Noted. Unlike whatever Nintendo's doing right now, it costs you to spend what, $7 or $8 for this playtest demo, or I don't know.
That's wow. I didn't even know that, but
Yeah.
30.
The best part about Astro's Playroom is already pre-installed.
Yep.
That is wild as a bug.
And it's like, look, for all the companies and everything, it's like, look, each one of them got the issues, but
Definitely.
just like, bro, Nintendo, like, what y'all doing?
For real.
What y'all doing, bro?
What are you doing? Because, yeah, Nintendo I can always kind of count on before it can be like, alright, I'm going to pay less money. It's going to be a cool alternative to the consoles, and I ain't about to pay no back-breaking money of the freaking PC console, PC hands, but, you know, I get my Nintendo stuff.
Yeah.
Exclusives or whatever.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Now you telling me your stuff $80? I don't want my Nintendo exclusive. And I wanted to play those, and I wanted to play the freaking, I wanted to play that Donkey Kong game. But
That Donkey Kong game looks amazing.
Oh, it is,
Yeah.
and it's $70 instead of 80, which is surprising.
Oh, that's
Why
awesome.
Mario Kart over DK is 80. I don't know.
Yeah. That DK game looks absolutely
DK
incredible.
is fairly priced.
Yep. Yeah, and there's so many things you can do in that game. Apparently, it's like, bro, you can smash through almost anything. I was like, oh, that's sick.
yeah, that looks so much
Like,
fun.
play like underground, which
Yes.
is typically unique in games.
Yep. And I never really played Donkey Kong games all that. I played like a few. I played like maybe like a few of them, but that one though, oh, I think that one is easily gonna be my favorite whenever I do play it.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong's new design looks pretty cool and quirky at the same time.
Yep, I like it. And then, so here's the thing though. So as far as like the whole $80 price point, now who I would have expected to do to do something like that? Sony. I would have expected Sony to roll out $80 games.
Oh.
Well, I was expecting them to do it on freaking the next consoles. Like, I legitimately thought they were gonna most likely move from $70 to $80 games on the next console.
Yeah.
I just didn't expect it from Nintendo because Nintendo was already lower than this generation consoles. Well, the Switch was already lower anyway, and then I thought like, okay, well, their game's still gonna be lower than like what we're paying now. It's just gonna catch up somewhat.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I didn't fucking think they were gonna sit there and be like, all right, what? Maybe this Mario Kart is 80 and the rest is 70. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope.
Hopefully.
I hope.
I don't know.
I ain't gonna lie, that Metroid Prime did look real good on there, but I was like,
Yeah, it did.
$80 worth good, but it looked good.
Yeah.
Oh, another part that Nintendo's doing is that Japan is having like its own region lock system along with like the non-region lock system, which is just $100 cheaper, where you only have to spend like $350 equivalent over there.
What?
Region lock. Yeah. And only in Japan.
Only in Japan, so they can have a region lock system, and then they pay $100 less.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't think that said help us out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Apparently.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, for $450 for the rest of the world, huh? Yep.
and you know what? It's not even going to be $450 for I think in Canada they pay way more than we do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Canada do pay higher prices than us.
Yeah. So I think Canada's going to be like over 500.
500.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
It might even change for us, especially like that news we got, like I sent y'all earlier.
Yeah. Nope. That ain't happening.
Yeah, Nintendo, y'all ain't got my support at the moment.
And that's wild because Alberto loves Nintendo, and I do too. Now, but I've always played Nintendo and Sony. you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, now Berto grew up on like mainly Nintendo stuff. So for him,
Yeah.
it's
I grew up on.
Harsh life right now.
wait,
I'm typically getting Nintendo consoles day one.
yeah. Wait, and what'd you say, Trayvon?
I say, yeah, I grew up on playing a lot of Nintendo
Yeah.
growing up. It's like, I don't know, dude. If I would have known Nintendo was gonna turn out like, if we were gonna get to this point,
Yeah.
it was a big thing. But yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Wow.
It's even I was watching the news this morning, and they even showed up on the news about how Nintendo's pricing is crazy. That is just
Oh,
bad.
wow. Wow, even the
Yeah.
news. Damn. Sheesh. Well, at this point, we might have to see how Nintendo responds to all of this.
Because the amount of backlash we're getting at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. They respond.
Yeah, Nintendo most of them are being like turned against Nintendo right now.
And so that is not good.
About it. Even they're upset.
Wait, you said what?
I even saw Nintendo content creators on Twitter. They're like extremely upset about it.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Yeah.
So nobody likes
They
this.
also typically, yeah.
Nobody
They
likes
typically
this.
get this system and games for free anyways. So yeah.
No, because look, it's such a drastic jump.
It is.
No, I don't think nobody whatsoever expected this.
No.
So yeah,
And it's like, see, what? I think I saw a funny comment about this whole thing. I remember a funny comment I had saw. So it was in regards to the pricing thing. So somebody had said in the comments, it's like, bro, it's like $80 for a game. Man, I better be able to become Mario.
what you say? What?
Somebody in the comments had said in regards to $80 games, they said I better be able to become Mario.
For real? I'm telling you. That's what I said. That's what I said when we was talking about. Everybody was talking about Grand Theft Auto. When people are saying like that might be 80 to like and beyond dollars, and I was like, I don't think Rockstar would do that.
They better
I
not,
was like, dude,
especially after GTA 5.
Yeah. As much money as you milk with GTA 5, shit. You better stop playing with people.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Man, bro, if you want to get back in people's good graces again, if I were Rockstar, like shoot, just to be nice, I would charge like 40 for GTA 6.
40, yeah, that's a little low.
You said what?
they would never do that. There was a drop off a bill that charge $40.
Yeah, I know, but still, they got the money
Not
for it.
only are they not gonna charge $40, they gonna charge $70 to $80, or if you to be believed, since this game is gonna change everything even more than 80,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna create another online thing to take more money.
Yep.
Rockstar just greedy like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying, if I were in charge, I would be nice about it. I would charge less.
I will pay you this. They better not charge $80. No, that much.
I'm not sure. I'm not in any rush to get any to get any other games from Rockstar right now. So I don't care about GTA 6 like that.
Well, this thing is there is no other games for Rockstar.
Yeah.
Because they barely make games.
Yep. Now they came out with a Bully too. Now you have my attention.
Man, I'm still mad for motherfuckers actually canceled that.
Yeah.
They so stupid. Yeah, that pissed me off.
Cry havoc and let
Everybody
loose
talk
the
about
sea
it.
dogs of
$80
war.
games. Nintendo?
Yep. $80.
Yeah. I'm paying $80. You gotta give me a piece of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
I need some of that back end from Donkey Kong and Mario. I need to be getting some residuals.
Can we talk about like you have to spend money for upgrades going from one console to another? Like spend 10
Oh
extra.
yeah. They
Mm.
did say that thing. Like, well, if you already got the digital version of like a Zelda game or whatever, then you can do the upgrade package. Oh, how much does it cost to upgrade? No.
Yeah, oh yeah. I forgot that they said that.
Price. $70 for Breath of the Wild, and that game came out 8 years ago.
And then you want me to pay extra money in order to upgrade it to the Switch 2 version? Hell no.
Bro, $80 retail price for Urban the Skyland Plus the added content.
Mm-mm.
That's wild.
Nah, I ain't doing that. And then see, well, and again, here's another thing with Sony. It's like at least when you get like the PS4 version of a game, you can get the PS5 version for free. Usually.
Yeah, on rare occasions you have to pay for it.
Yeah, on rare occasions you have to pay like maybe like $10 or something for like an upgrade, for PS5. I think one of the rare cases like Cyberpunk. I think you have to pay a little bit of money for that, to upgrade the PS5 version.
It's typically always only $10.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo, how?
Yeah, we don't know how much Nintendo's going to charge for like upgrading these games with whatever else they're going to add. But it's like, bro, why isn't that still free? So you ain't giving us a break with the fact that these games never go on sale. But then you going to add on the fact that we have to pay in order to play like an enhanced version of them. Like, nah, they ain't going to fly. So,
Man.
say if you so let's think about it this way. So you get the console. So that's gonna be, I don't know, maybe like I don't know how much I don't know how much they charge for tax on console. What is it, like another $10 or $20 or something like that, or is it more?
No, it ain't 10 or 20 because tax on electronics is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna end up paying it's $450. You're actually gonna end up paying close to about $500.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because when it's all said and done, because taxes on electronics is ridiculous. So when it's all said and done, you're basically gonna pay a $30 to $40 tax.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically just call it 500. That's basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's a $500 profit. No,
No.
no.
So
Another thing they're doing about the Mario Kart bundle with the Switch 2 is that apparently you only have to spend $50 for Mario Kart. So in total, it goes from 450 to 500, and you quote unquote save 30 less. And it's not even available all the time. The sale goes off in September.
yeah, people ain't got money like that.
Yeah. See, that's something you expect for the holidays or something, not like it to go off in September randomly.
Yeah. So, and the thing I wanted to say was that so yeah, you pay for this console, and then say if you wanted to upgrade Breath of the Wild, oh, not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, to the Switch 2 version. So that's probably gonna be like another 10 or 20 or however much that they charge, and then say if you wanted to have the voice chat, well not voice chat, the camera feature, so that's another however much for that, and oh and what if you want to have a pro controller as well? What if you wanted to have that too? So that's
Oh,
gonna
don't get me a price on a new Pro controller. That's
bro,
$90.
yeah, $90 for a pro controller now. So say if you want to get all that stuff, that's like $600 there or more.
No. Wait, why is it $10 more than a PlayStation 5?
I know.
Wait, wait. No. Hold on. You gonna tell me? Oh, okay, wait. The PlayStation Portable has the like sensitive like what right stick? No, not right stick.
Left stick.
Uh, left stick, yeah. And then adaptable triggers, which is just pretty cool. And the Switch 2 Pro controller doesn't have that. They just have like um a port you can put your microphone in, which PlayStation 5 controller has, along with what else now? Two extra buttons in the back.
Damn.
Uh,
Yeah, and then they trying to do that GameCube controller too. That wireless GameCube controller, which is gonna cost an arm and a leg.
Oh yeah.
oh, the Smash players are going to go crazy about that.
Oh wow. Damn.
Yeah, just seeing the people that get to like play Melee again if they decide to put on the GameCube version.
Mm.
Yeah, I just thought about that. Wow.
And people have spent the GameCube controller that's what wireless. And
Yep.
some people might complain about that, where like what low latency stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of other players, which they always complain, gonna complain harder now.
Oh yeah.
And this is just hitting everyone in any community.
Yep. It's going to be hard. Well. Yeah, we'll see how things turn out. But
hmm
yeah, ain't looking good right now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm good on it.
Same here.
Surprisingly, I would have to catch it on myself.
Yeah.
I'll catch it if something shocking is revealed like I mentioned before. I'm so glad it's a Hyrule Warriors game, not a Xenoblade Warriors.
Yeah.
You want to know the worst part though, too?
What?
And I hope this doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I pray it doesn't happen. It might turn out to be another PS5 situation too, on top of all this bullcrap. Remember when the PS5 first came out, and
Yeah.
a bunch of the scalpers had bots and stuff buying up PS5 so to resell
Oh shit.
them? I hope they don't do that to Nintendo, because this is already bad enough.
Yeah.
If that happens, it's gonna be worse.
Actually, um, Nintendo hosted its own thing where people can't even pre-order it normally. You have to have like 2-year online subscription along with like some verifications to your account just to access the website and pre-order it.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Which is, hmm.
Oh.
So
So that's what
people
they.
who wants to get into it do. Yeah,
Oh. So that's what they did in order to try to combat the scalpers. Okay.
yeah.
Huh.
Huh? Not
Okay.
even limiting it for like one person per IP address.
Wow. Okay. Well,
So pretty much what they're doing is like letting official Nintendo fans who've been with the Switch One get some first access to it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see that as one big W, along with like an L, because some people would like want to pre-order it along with the Nintendo fans, or actually want to get into Nintendo on like these prices at the moment.
Yeah.
But I would have preferred to see one Switch console per IP address, but I guess this works out at the moment.
Hmm. Okay. Well. Well, since they do have some protections in place, that's cool. But still,
Yeah.
pricing is just the thing that's throwing a wrench in everything.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna destroy it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just no way around. They gotta lower that price.
They do.
If not, at least the games.
Lowering the price of games too. That would definitely be awesome.
Maybe for Mario Kart now.
Yeah. And I don't even. It's like Mario Kart is just one of those games. Like, okay, I enjoy it for a while. When I get it, but then after a while, it's like I don't play Mario Kart anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd be willing to spend 80 for like a new Zelda or a new 3D Mario, but not Mario Kart.
And no, I don't think we're at that point where we should be spending 80 for anything.
Sadly.
For real.
70 is 70 is fine, and I do mean it's fine for right now. Yeah, 70 is fine.
We're used to it, okay?
Yeah,
We're used to it. We don't want to pay it, but we're used to it.
right.
We'll, we'll take the 70.
Like how we're fine with the $170 outlier in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
Totally understandable.
yeah, that's fine. But
Like what they're doing now.
yeah, and so another thing is it's like, bro, so Trayvon and me and him, we definitely know about it. Bro, you remember when games used to be like $40?
Man. If I had access the way I have now, to money or whatever, when it was $40, where Kid Trayvon would have balled out like a king. I would have had some of these games.
Bro.
If I would have had so many games, more people's head would have been spinning. They was like, what the fuck? Shit. Oh, I would have been killing it. Sweat.
Freaking $40, bro.
40 freaking bucks.
Mm.
Hell, then when it moved up to 60, we were like,
Yeah. But then it just kind of like whatever, brand new consoles
yeah,
and, new generation, which, definitely a huge leap.
yeah.
So we could just like, okay, that's fine. Then inch it up to 70, it's like, well, all right, fine.
It
Whatever.
hurts.
Yeah. Those hurt.
It hurts. But yeah.
Yeah, it's like, all right. But 80 though?
Usually just like huge AAA games, but 80, yeah.
Uh-uh.
I just feel as I said, we just not at 80 yet.
Yeah.
And for you to throw 80 in my face, it's kind of like, hell, Nintendo, where's the loyalty? I'm been loyal to you.
Right.
I'm missing my loyalty.
And
I've
now,
been sending my loyalty to you over the years.
here's the other thing. Like, I'm not.
I got slapped in the face.
I'm not even the type of person that that talks about specs and all that stuff all that often. Because I don't particularly care about that stuff for real. But the specs are not matching up to to this price point that they're trying to set. And the price for the games as well. It ain't matching up.
Yeah. I don't like going
How much
space.
does the PS4 cost?
Wait, what you say? What you say, Alberto?
How much did a PS4 cost when it first came out?
Let me see. Let me see. The original PS4 was $400.
Hey, yep.
And we're spending $50 more from that for the equivalent of the specs of that from like a decade ago.
Yep.
Yeah. And what they kind of sell
That's
on,
from the current gen.
but see, what I was telling Alberto, like, what they're trying to sell on is something like they're making it seem like it's supposed to be like PS4, like a little stronger than PS4 to like PS5 now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they try to make it seem like. And remember when we was talking about it, and I was saying like, if you can play PS4 like games like PS4 consistently before we knew all of this, and when we was talking about the Switch 2, I was like, if they can play PS4 games consistently, I said that'll be a win in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wouldn't have to play, like, remember how they used to have to do Resident Evil, like Resident Evil 5 Light and Cloud and all that crap?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, if you able to play those games consistently, I was like, you would be winning. But, see, you're trying to sell me on the fact that you're telling me you can play Elder and Cyberpunk 2077 and these heavy intensive games on your console, and it's like, bro, but your video for that thing even look rough. So it's like, kind of worried about these heavy games that you're claiming that you can play.
And that's docked too.
Yeah, we're pretty sure it's not. Dude, and if you're trying to play Elden Ring in handheld mode,
Like,
Roberto said that thing gonna die. He said that thing gonna die.
my computer was dying for the Xenoblade 3.
Bro, that thing gonna be working overtime for handheld. Shit. Honestly, you might need an extra fan for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
They even have the audacity to add like a fan to the dock itself.
Yeah, you
Telling
might,
you, like, it might
you
even,
might need to, you might need to add oxygen tubes to that motherfucker
Yeah.
so that guy can breathe. Dude, I don't know. So no, what are you? I don't know what the hell I'm trying to do. Cause
oh, this will be like more of a question aimed towards Raven. What are your thoughts about Street Fighter 6 coming on Switch too?
Well, I don't know. It's just kind of whatever to me. It's like that's cool, but
Yeah.
the thing is, it's like for fighting games in particular, I don't think a lot of Nintendo fans really play fighting games like that.
Hmm.
The only thing that they mess
And
with
they're
on
making amiibos for it,
is that what?
and they're making amiibos for it along with amiibo cards,
That's cool.
which I'm not pretty sure it would be cool for like fighting game fans, but
Yeah,
some
that's
of them
cool.
don't even get it for Switch.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like that's why the whole Street Fighter thing was kind of like whatever to me. It's like well, I mean
Yeah.
that's nice and all, but I don't see too many people playing Street Fighter 6 on like the Switch or nothing like that. You know.
Yeah. Well, it
Yeah,
has crossplay though. Hopefully, it runs well with other people.
yeah. Hopefully it does run well and everything. Sure. And if it has crossplay, then yeah, that would be great. You know, that way if somebody doesn't have a PlayStation or something like that, then yeah, they could get it on the Switch and they can play. So it all hinges on the performance. If it actually runs well, then okay, cool. Then you have an option to play Street Fighter 6 finally with like your friends and everything. That's nice. But like I said,
And
people
online
that
too.
is that what? Wait, is that?
Me?
Yeah,
Oh, that you can play Street Fighter 6 on the go as well.
yeah.
Unlike the Guilty Gear Strive one where it got a bunch of backlash about it.
Mm.
Doesn't
Yeah.
even have crossplay.
Mm. Well, see, that's the thing though. It's like, well, if if you play it on the Switch, then like I said, you're not going to have too many people that do play it on there. So
Yeah.
I don't really have any other things to say about it because you know I don't think there's going to be too many folks that's actually playing that stuff on there.
that's funny because I'm looking at an article where the former PR managers of Nintendo
Mm-hmm.
believe the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World price backlash is a true crisis moment for Nintendo. So they lost control of this.
Oh.
And they bring up an actual good point too. Nintendo is kind of petty for how they did this and presented it because Nintendo did and they didn't give a price point whatsoever. And so, because even when I was watching, there was a lot of people like, okay, but what's the price? What's the price of it? And you basically closed the direct without telling anybody anything. So, of course, people were going to go and try to figure out what the price was. And when they saw those prices, they're like, what? I think the way they. Why you just tell people up front, man, my console costs $450 and you might be paying $80 for some of these games?
Right.
Because I'm holding out hope. I've only seen Mario Kart World and Tears of the Kingdom and some other editions.
Mm-hmm.
And $80, whatever. You about to try to get me with this whole nonsense? So, like, playing a video game is gonna be 80. That ain't gonna work. Like that Dust Bloods game. And you come to my face and tell me that that's $80, I ain't got no one to
Especially
play
from
me.
Nintendo of all people.
Wait, what you say, Alberto?
Especially from Nintendo of all people. Usually like tell you up front.
Yeah.
They didn't have like much of the secretive stuff before from them.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank both of you for participating in Friendly Fire. And then
Oh yeah,
us having this huge discussion afterwards.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
That's
that,
what it is.
Well,
yeah, this is great.
yeah. So let's go ahead and end this off, and I think I'm gonna stream. Some Bleach again.
All right.
Yeah, probably gonna do that. But so thanks to all of you for watching, and thanks to Trayvon and Alberto for participating in Friendly Fire. And we want to continue
Of course.
this next Friday as well. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see you in the next stream. Bye for now.